But I want to ask kind of broad question for people here today that want to kind of run events on a similar scale to you. If you have like some words of advice or like best kind of tips for them or how to...
In terms of putting on events?
Yeah.
Promoting is hard. Like, I'm not going to like sugarcoat it. Like, you need some serious resilience to put on events. You have to put down a lot of money. The risk factor of putting on events is quite high. And you've got to keep on going. Like, always perfect your events so like you can roll on to the next one. I think that's helped us massively. Just caring about each show and taking time to think about all the small things, making the experience for your customers as sick as possible. And just, like if it's something that you want to do, whether you want to be a promoter or you're an artist, want to put on like tours or whatnot, care about that, care about the show that you're putting on and the experience that people have, and don't take it as a defeat if things don't go your way. See it as a learning curve. All my biggest things that I've learned over the years is where I've done something wrong. For example, like when I lost $3,000 on that event, that I could have quit just then, but then I worked out why I lost that $3,000 and made sure I didn't make those same mistakes again.
Yeah.
So I'll say what that mistake is. So where we went wrong on that event, it was a big room and we booked like the same level of acts, so like 4 same level of acts for that room. Whereas what I should have done was book one big act to get a larger group of people, if that makes sense, rather than the 4 big acts. So it's things like that you pick up over a long period of time where like you just got to stick at it and just keep on going.
And would you say like because obviously you say you need to have a lot of resilience and like there's so much pressure on you and stress. Like, would you say that you've got better at dealing with that, or have you always just been someone who's quite good at dealing with that kind of pressure? And if so, like, how do you deal with it better?
I don't know how I deal with it. Like, the pressure is quite high. I mean, when you're like trying to when things go wrong, you've got to keep the morale of your team really high. How do I deal with the stress? I think I just like try not to focus on the negatives and just focus on the tasks in hand rather than thinking about what could happen. It's just dealing with whatever the situation is there right then. But yeah, like you kind of have to be a bit numb to things at certain times.
Yeah, would I be wrong in saying that like, you know, you've been running events for so long now that probably every kind of problem that could happen has kind of already happened to you before?
I'd say so. Like a majority of things that can go wrong, like the headliner not showing up, like I've been through that, and that's probably one of the worst things that could happen if it's just a solo headliner show. There's certain things that could go wrong that I haven't experienced yet, to be honest, like someone ODing at the event and them having a fatality. I've not experienced that, and that's like for most promoters, when you've been in the game for so long, that can happen.
Yeah.
And it's those kind of things that you need to prepare yourself for. Like as much as I would never want that to happen, I can't control that to an extent. I can do as much as I can, but there's certain things that I haven't experienced yet. So yeah.